It's time for the Court Report, our bi-weekly segment with the Upper Midwest Law Center. They are a nonprofit public interest law firm on the front lines, dedicated to defending constitutional freedoms and the rule of law.
Lucky to have him. He is Doug Seaton. He's head dog at the Upper Midwest Law Center. Doug, how are you, sir?
I'm very good, Al. Thank you for having us this morning.
No, absolutely our pleasure. I need you to describe, because this was a couple of weeks back, right? I mean, been 10 days ago, something like that. You have a Fall Freedom Forum. Now, it's too late to go because it's happened already, but I want to know what that is. That's the first I had heard of it. It sounded like quite the big muckety-muck thing. What exactly is the Fall Freedom Forum?
Yes, I guess you could say that. We think so anyway.
Good.
I was on September 30th at the Golden Valley, at the Olympic Hills Golf Club. Great place.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And they did a very nice job for us, and we had a nice dinner and some great talk, and lots of people, 165 or so came. And celebrating, 7 years of this, we've done this kind of event a couple times now. And we have a speaker, and a couple of us lawyers talk a little at the crowd and tell them what we're doing. Okay. And we have a lot of our friends there, and it's just a great time, a great party, great food, an enjoyable time.
And the professor, that's what I was going to ask you. Who is this guy? Give us a little background on him. What kind of speech am I hearing when I go?
Yeah, he was terrific. Professor Elon Werman, he's one of the conservatives at the law school, the University of Minnesota Law School. And so they can get in one phone booth, I think, the conservatives over there. But he's smart, he's funny, and we had just a great time with his talk and questions and answers. We had a bunch of law students there, conservatives who were interested in us and interested in him. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful evening. And we've been at this 7 years, so it's worth celebrating.
I think that is fantastic. If you're going to do number 8, let us know ahead of time. We'll make sure we advertise it because I think that's fantastic. For folks who don't know, the younger generation, a phone booth that Doug was referring to, we used to have a place you could go make a phone call and you needed change. What a reference, Doug. I don't think a lot.
I'm giving away my age. I guess.
Ours. I knew exactly what that was. And so anyway, it's for the younger listeners. Other things to talk about. You got a lot going on at the Upper Midwest Law Center. Can you tell me about this Brent Robbins? You've got a new lawyer there. Can you tell me much about him?
Yes, I sure will. He's terrific. Brent Robbins has just joined us part-time. He spends the rest of the time helping Kristen Robbins, his wife, run for governor. So that's an important thing for him too. But he is a great lawyer. He was at General Mills. He's been at a lot of places before practicing law, and he turned down an enormous salary they offered as general counsel at General Mills, our great company in Minnesota, to come work for us. So it's one of those signs that two things. It's a sign of two things. One, we're getting great people who really are believers and want to fight this fight we all know has to be fought for our Constitution, free enterprise, and all of our traditional freedoms and faith. He's willing to do that. And what's more, it shows that I couldn't be hired at this outfit any longer, Al.
I wouldn't want to be a part of a group that would have me as a member. That is so funny. We are the same age. Doug, let me ask you this. If I can you give us the elevator version of what you mean by that? I've had you on a few times, so I know. But basically, you 7 years ago got out of that world of getting paid to be a great lawyer. But decided to go into this. I want to stick up for what's quote unquote right. Give us your 30-second what Upper Midwest Law Center does.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. I had been in private practice, as Al was saying, and I was defending lawyers and defending union members who couldn't get justice from their unions, and realizing this is a tough fight. You don't always have people who have the scratch to fight this fight. So I said, we have to have a better way to do this than just passing the hat. We stopped Governor Dayton in that way with just passing the hat when he tried to impose unions on child care providers. But we knew that wasn't going to work in the long haul. So a couple of us decided, with a lot of support from our friends, that we needed to have a group like ours. So we started the Upper Midwest Law Center, 501c3. So we're a charitable contribution. We're nonpartisan, but we're determined to make a difference. And we have. For 7 years, we've been at this. We started with just me and then another half lawyer, and then we grew, and now we're up to 5, maybe going on 6 lawyers,
That's
a paralegal, and an administrative assistant, and a lot of help from a lot of friends and volunteers as well. So the fight is everywhere. We've got 60 cases we've had filed since we started. Many of them have gone to the Minnesota Supreme Court. One's at the U.S. Supreme Court now. We hope they take it. And so we've made a difference. We stopped police defunding, as you know. That was maybe our signal victory a couple of years ago. We're going to probably have to sue them again to keep them on track. We forced the governor to open the churches and synagogues during COVID.
Yep.
A lot of cases in between. And recently we defeated the Omnibus Tax Act. And
I'm not a lawyer or a historian of law, but I will tell you that if the omnibus bill gets torn apart because you guys were able to say you can't put gun legislation in with everything else in, if you get that passed, that will be single-handedly the largest game changer in the way Minnesota and our politics get done. You single-handedly, your client and you will blow that thing out of the water. That will be huge. I'm sorry. The other stuff you do is big. Don't get me wrong. But you're shaking your head. I'm not wrong here, right? This is changing the way we've been doing business for 40 years, and it's not a good way of doing it, and you might be the one to change that. I love that about the group.
I am hoping it's true, and I certainly believe you. It could be a critical victory, and if the appeals courts do what we hope they do, and the state appealed, so they opened the door to this, we cross-appealed and said, strike the whole thing down, like the judge said, that really should be done. And I had the first case 25 years ago that revived this theory in which the court warned them not to do this anymore. And that was a 300-page bill. This one is 1,300 or 1,400 pages. So they're not listening. We hope the court is offended.
Now, this was, I keep getting wrong, the Midwest Gun, what was the name of the group?
It's the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus was our client.
So that was their client. They stood up and did this. Thank them for that. Do you know if others have come forward, if there are other people attacking, if you will, that bill for the same reasons? Because the judge said this doesn't make any sense. Do we know if that's been filed, or do they even send? How would you know, I guess, maybe is another word.
Well,
I don't know.
It isn't always easy to know because we have vest pocket filing in Minnesota, so you don't really know if a case is underway for a while sometimes. But so far, we know only of United Healthcare, which was already fighting the fight and is in the fray. And then we are hoping others will do the same thing. But it is, so far, we don't know for sure of any. And I will tell you, it won't be a surprise to you. People are intimidated. And I've had people tell me in meetings saying, we'd love to be in this fight, but we're just afraid the regulators are going to paint a target on our back. Yeah. And I had a friend who at a meeting last night tell me we had a big development project. We were going to go, and I was going to run for a seat, a political office. And I was told, well, if you do that, we're going to ditch your program. And that's the kind of intimidation people face all the time. People get fired. We hear from school teachers and administrators all the time. I'm going to get fired if I even say so much as a word. And that did happen. She was disciplined, not quite fired yet, to Brooke Zahn in Prior Lake. And that's one more case we're fighting.
We're going to talk about that. I'll go to break a little bit early. I want to talk about a couple of cases. That Prior Lake one for sure. And then there's this over race-based discount programs at the Twin Cities Marathon. Stuff I haven't even heard about. You're running. We'll talk to him. He's Doug Seaton. He's the guy running Upper Midwest Law Center. More right after this.
Are you tired of government overreach and the constant threat to your constitutional rights? The Upper Midwest Law Center is your legal sword and shield. We're a nonprofit law firm fighting every day to defend free speech, religious liberty, and the rule of law. We secure landmark victories that restore school neutrality, protect property rights, and hold government accountable. Our mission is to ensure liberty endures for all Minnesotans. So if you or your business is facing a constitutional violation, we want to hear from you. Learn more and support our work at umlc.org.
What? Nice. So I think Allison did it with Al here on this program. Very good. Yeah, that's what we had. Very important to do that. I saw that, yeah. The flies. I don't know. All you have to do is take down remember they took down those units that were measuring when they had a shot fire? They took those down because they didn't want to charge it. Minority communities.
Are you talking to me, sir?
No.
Oh, okay. You're still on Facebook Live.
Yes.
Okay.
It's nice to know a guy that knows a guy. Al Travis.
Glad to know him. He's Doug Seaton with the Upper Midwest Law Center. What I find interesting, and maybe that's probably why you're into this, it isn't like you do this law. I just handle cases like this. You seem to handle everything. We're talking about this omnibus bill thing from the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, this Prior Lake teacher. It's a whole nother side of life. Are you just like expert on everything, Doug? Or you have someone? How do you go? We'll talk this veto thing, this Prior Lake deal. It's a teacher who put something on her own Facebook page with a group of friends, and then somebody shared it with the wrong person because that person brought it to her boss, and it's a whole thing. But how much different law is that than the binary trigger ban? I mean, goodness gracious.
We do cover a wide swath of territory, and it isn't easy, of course, to do it, but we've just decided somebody has to do this. And so we don't see the compartmentalization that a lot of law firms do, like people who, fight the fights, and they're important.
Yeah.
You have the slip in front of the bus case, and that's a whole genre of lawsuits. Yeah. But we have to cover the waterfront, in our view. We believe the conservative, constitutionalist, moderate Minnesotans need a voice in the courts, and they don't get it unless we do it, because there aren't that many willing to take these fights on.
Well, how does one get to the top of how does the cream rise to get to Doug's office? Like, this is Prior Lake teacher, right?
Yes.
Does a Facebook post. She didn't get fired, but got,
Suspended.
Yeah. How does that pique Doug's ear and say, wait a minute, this is, what brought that to your level of we're interested?
Well, good question. It's a variety of things. In the police defunding case, I just made a cold call to the people who were quoted in the Star Tribune, Black Minnesotans in North Minneapolis, who said, we don't want the police defunded. And so I called and said, if you're willing to get called names, we're willing to represent you for free.
Wow.
And if we can find a way, we'll do it. And that's one. Another way people contact us because of the visibility you give us and others give us, and our own newsletter. People contact us, and that's how it happened with Brooke Zahn. She contacted us after speaking to some friends about it who knew about us. And then we have to sort through it all. And of course, sadly, we can't take it all on. We can't do it all. Not everything has a viable legal pathway either, but we do everything we can, and that's why we're growing, to be able to do more, to take on more and more variety of these cases.
So tell me about this one. Where is it with Miss Zahn? Is she back? Have you guys won this? Where are you at in the free speech case? Because if I'm summing up your case, she didn't put this out there for the masses to see. She did it in a small group. That's her right. It gets brought to the board by somebody. I don't care, guess who it is. And they decide they're going to suspend her. That it isn't their right. This was not something for the public to see. And so you're winning that case. Where are we at with that?
We filed the lawsuit. They haven't actually yet responded. They're about due to respond with either an answer or a motion to dismiss. We typically see them fighting at every step in these cases. So we expect a motion to dismiss, and we'll fight that fight because this is a First Amendment violation. We know that schools cannot do this. No office of government can suppress the speech of its employees, except in relation to their actual jobs. And this had nothing to do with their job, was purely off-duty, off-site, on a private Facebook page, as you explained. And the school district itself publicized this to others and helped stir up the trouble. So
well, see, that
culprit.
Yeah. We don't want anybody saying things like this. Look what she said. That doesn't make any sense. The other one you're doing, which I had no idea on, I am obviously not a marathoner, but the Twin Cities Marathon, there's a discount program, which somehow that's not cool.
That was not cool. You've got it exactly on the money. I'm no marathoner either. I do my 2 miles every couple of days. That's about all I can manage. But there are plenty of people who do. And some of them contacted us and said, this doesn't seem right. They're saying they're going to give discounts to Black, people of color, indigenous people, et cetera, but not the rest of us, no matter what the circumstances. And we had a woman runner who said, that's just wrong. I've been doing this a long time. It's hard for me. I got kids of my own. I'm single. And it was a challenge for her. So we said, we're going to fight that fight if we have to. So they changed the rules when people started letting them know that was wrong. And they got some publicity on Alpha News and otherwise that they knew and they knew it was wrong. They really did. They always do. So finally they stopped, and we got to declare victory because we believe we had a lot to do with that. And we would have sued them if we had to, because we've done that in several programs in the past that are like that, where they have special benefits based upon race or other categories. It's just not right. It's not fair. That's not what equal justice under law is all about.
Do you see that as an amazing thing in 2025? That you would literally write a thing and say, hey, we'll give you 25% on and then insert race, color, or creed here. I mean, are we seriously still playing that game in this state?
I can't believe that they do. And I'm one of those old enough who have actually stood in front of buildings and said, you can't segregate this housing anymore, cut it out, and got clubbed for it. And I know that's wrong, and it's wrong no matter whose color is involved.
All right. I just find that interesting in 2025. They put that out there. A knucklehead like I am, goes, that doesn't look like a sentence I want to write. All right. You also filed a lawsuit challenging Walgreens and the Minnesota Board of Pharmacy. Where is that? And we talked about that a month ago. Where has that moved anywhere? I know this stuff goes slow sometimes.
Yeah, it does go slow. We haven't got a full response yet from them, but the battle is joined, I guess is the way I can describe it. We've got a date due. It's actually coming up right away. In a week, we have an answer due from them, from both Walgreens and the Board of Pharmacy. And they're pointing fingers, back and forth. He's responsible. They're responsible. Whoever's responsible, they're going to have to stop doing this. And we have cases like this before and again. We'll have more again, I'm afraid, like the teacher case, where they try to suppress people's speech or they try to trample on their religious rights. And in this case, these pharmacists have for quite a while had been working it out so that other pharmacists could dispense these medications that had to do with abortion.
Yeah.
And they were able, and COVID related things, and they were able to get others to take care of it. And all of a sudden, Walgreens said, oh, no, we can't do that anymore. The Board of Pharmacy says you all have to do this, like it or not. And we said, that's not what the First Amendment says. And we're going to fight back so people can respect and have to respect their religious rights.
All right. So, because before I run out of time, I want to say, if somebody's listening to the program and they think they've been done wrong, and I'm getting the feeling on a constitutional level, this isn't a speeding ticket that I don't think I was speeding. This is constitutionally, they're mucking with me. How do I get to the Upper Midwest Law Center and say, will you look at it for me? I mean, I don't have the cash to fight these big dogs and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a great question. The best way to do it is to go to our website. Any browser under Upper Midwest Law Center will find it, and put in just a short statement of what's at issue and your email and phone number so that we can get back to you promptly with something. We do our best to respond to everybody. We can't take them all, as I said, but we do our best to give guidance to everybody, even if we can't take the case in some fashion, so they know something they can do to fight back.
Fair enough, and I presume must know everybody in the city. If it's not something you want to pick up, but you know a good guy that handles Al's speeding tickets, do you give me a referral? I mean, can I at least think I'll walk away with some number that I should call?
Yeah, yes, exactly. No. We try to give referrals where we have them, and or other guidance when it doesn't look like a legal issue at all. We give them some direction on what they might be able to do to get deal with the problem they've got. And everybody needs that help, and we supply all we can.
You're fantastic. It's the Upper Midwest Law Center. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the court report. Well, I guess we'll get you back again next week. Fair enough.
Great. Looking forward to it, Al. Thank you.
Doug Seaton. You bet. You too.
That's the Court Report with the Upper Midwest Law Center, with some insights into their mission to defend liberty and the rule of law. For more information on the cases and issues we discussed today, and to learn how you can support their fight, visit umlc.org. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the next Court Report.